In the last 20 years, the actual value of your money has gone down by somewhere between 40% to 80% depending on the country you live in. If you are an American, it has gone down by 40%. If you are Indian like me, it has gone down by more than 70%. That is inflation. It is a measure of the rate of rising prices of goods and services in an economy, and it is at its highest in the last 40 years. But how does inflation occur? 3 reasons. Reason number 1, when production of goods decreases or becomes expensive. When companies face a shortage of raw materials, they cannot keep manufacturing products, but demand remains unchanged, especially if they produce life essential products. Companies produce less, supply goes down, and they fail to meet consumer demand. When you have less quantity to sell but have a lot of buyers lined up, companies raise prices and give rise to inflation. Similarly, when production cost increases, the prices of goods increases. Reason number 2, when people have more money to spend but companies don't have enough products to sell. In short, when demand is high and supply is low, the prices rise, especially if those items are something you consumers need for everyday existence, such as oil and gas. Reason number 3, government policies. When your government starts manipulating the supply of money and interest rates through its monetary policies, it is a recipe for causing inflation. No wonder the worst economic disaster in US history, the Great Depression, occurred only 16 years after the creation of the Federal Reserve, the central bank of the USA. Central banks affect the supply of money by printing more money, by buying or selling government bonds, by manipulating interest rates, and by helping governments in sending free money to people through various government schemes that intend to uplift the poor people. The reason why inflation is at its highest right now is because all of the above 3 inflation causing factors have occurred at the same time. During the COVID pandemic, to economically support poor people, governments around the world sent money to poor people. They also lowered interest rates to encourage people to take loans, and because of that, people had more money to spend. But at the same time, because of the pandemic, lockdown restrictions, and the global supply chain disruptions, companies around the world could not produce enough products to meet the increasing demand for goods, and that's how we got ourselves into the era of inflation. That's all the economic stuff behind inflation, but how does it affect you personally, and is there a way you can save yourself from it? 3 ways inflation affects you. Number 1, your cost of living skyrockets and purchasing power decreases. At the beginning of the pandemic, I was living in a metropolitan city. Just before my government enforced lockdown, I decided to move back to my native village in India to cut back on my spendings and save more money, because here we have an extra house that I can use as my studio cum office. But God, little did I know that inflation is gonna ruin this plan for me. At that time, in March of 2020, the price of petrol was 70 rupees per litre, roughly $1 for a litre. Edible oil was 90 rupees per kg. Now just 27 months later, in June of 2022, the prices of both these essential items have increased by 46% and 57% respectively. For the same quantity of petrol, I now have to spend 50% more money. During inflation, you have to spend more to buy the same quantity of life essential goods and services that include food, medicine, healthcare, education, and everything that your life depends upon. That means my purchasing power has decreased and the cost of living has gone up. My government says inflation is just 8%, but that's a plain lie. Number 2, you cannot save more money. That's a no-brainer. When your living cost goes up, you cannot save more money. Number 3, your investment portfolio goes down. As if not being able to save more money is not enough, the value of your existing investments goes down. Right now my mutual fund portfolio is down by 25% and my crypto portfolio is down by staggering 70%. The third factor is at play here. Government manipulation. To combat inflation, central banks such as the Federal Reserve are raising interest rates to discourage people from borrowing money, from taking loans, so that people don't have money to buy more stuff. In that way, demand goes down and with it the prices of goods as well. But this strategy creates a domino effect that can lead the economy into recession. When demand goes down, companies are forced to shut down some of their newly opened manufacturing facilities, resulting in job losses and ultimately recession. That's how inflation affects you. Here are 3 ways you can fight inflation on a personal level. Number 1. Cut back on spendings and invest more. A lot of people have a habit of spending more money than actually needed on branded products. Luxury brands spend thousands of crores on advertising, and guess what? They recover all that money from you guys by raising the prices of their products. People feel important and think that they achieve certain social status by using branded stuff, but in reality, they are just being ripped off. You must shed your brand consciousness when inflation is high. Instead of paying extra money for branded products, invest that money in stocks or other investment products, because when inflation is high and central banks raise interest rates, the stock prices go down. Buy those stocks when they are cheaper, and when inflation comes back to normal, the stock prices go up in a full swing. Then you can spend all that juicy profit on branded stuff or whatever the hell you want. Number 2. Buy things in bulk. Form a group of 4 or 5 friends and buy the essential goods from the wholesale market in bulk. The prices of essential goods such as salt and sugar are 15 to 20% lower in the wholesale market. You can easily save up to 20%. The only thing is you will have to purchase larger quantities. In my country, India, an average urban household wastes 15 to 20% of food it buys. In America, it's even higher. An average American household wastes 30 to 40% of its food, which results in wasting $240 billion worth of food every year. Last year in the UK, household caused 70% of the UK's food waste, throwing away 4.5 million tons of edible food. We produce enough food across the world to wipe out global hunger, but 1/3 of it goes to waste. Even if you don't care about this global problem, you should at least care about how much wasted food is hurting your pockets and your savings. It is difficult to avoid food wastage completely, but you must try to minimize it. Keep in mind that the way to wealth is as plain as the way to market. It depends chiefly on 2 words, industry and frugality. That is, waste neither time nor money, but make the best use of both. Without industry and frugality, nothing will do, and with them, everything. To learn the basics of economics, I read So You Want to Know About Economics by Rupa Rai. This book makes complicated economic stuff easy to understand. You guys watching my videos is the best reward I can get for my efforts, but creating well-researched videos is time consuming, and time is money. So if you want to economically support my efforts to create well-researched videos, you can do so by either buying books from my affiliate links or by sending me super thanks. I will mention your names at the end of the very next video. Thanking you for supporting my efforts. That's enough for today. See you in the next video.